You know, when I first came to church, I've been here for about 4 or 5 years now. I never stepped a foot into a church till I was 17. And man, I was like blown away by this place. And not because of, when I continue to come regularly, and not just because, you know, I found this place amazing and, you know, beautiful music and everything along those lines, it's great. But once I got plugged in and actually revealed God, I saw God, I met God, I was so mad. I was so upset. I was so frustrated with the world because I didn't understand. For all my life, I'd been struggling. All my life, I'd been going through these steps. And no one actually ever told me that there was something that could actually help me with this. There's no one, when my family broke up and I was trying to hold them together and I was crying, like no one actually told me that there was something that could actually push me through this. When I had my heart broken and, you know, went to an object, when I went to a cigarette after went something that would maybe be a dependency on something that I could rest myself on, that something would actually take the burden off my shoulders. No one ever actually told me that there was a God, there was a relationship, there was something that actually could transform my situation for good. You know, it says, you filled your lungs with polluted unbelief and exhaled disobedience. We are who we saw. You know, there's an amazing story in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew 8. It says, when Jesus came down from the mountainsides, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Man, I love this thought. Hey, like, I love this because it is so opposite. It's not even close to what we're relating to in the world now, in a world of, you know, give it to me now, I want it. This guy's actually just gone and said, you know, God, if you are willing. And, you know, this is something that can really just be skimmed over. This guy's just going, Jesus came down and he asked for a healing. Okay, let's move on. But I actually believe this man had a revelation. He had a revelation on an actual dependency because, you know, this guy was a leper. He was exiled from his community. He had no friends, no people around him. He was sorrowful, like he's dying. He's got no hope, and no one can actually come and even talk to him. You know, he didn't beg. I'm sure he was angry. I'm sure he was frustrated, but, you know, he didn't beg. He didn't demand it, but he humbly acknowledged God. He humbly acknowledged God as the one and only hope for him and his situation that was way before him, way bigger than him. You know, this is chapter 8. In chapter 7, Jesus is actually telling a parable to his disciples. And it says, now ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who finds, and to him who knocks, the door will be opened. You know, as soon as he humbly approached Jesus, Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. Jesus said, I am willing. He said, be clean. You know, God is such a personal God, and I truly believe with all my heart, he's never going to force his way in. He's actually so humble. He's actually such a humble God that he will actually give you a free will to make your own decisions. He will actually give you a free will to be able to go like, you know what, I care about you with all my heart. I care about you, but you know what? I need you to make the first step, because if he was to force himself on us, if he was to say, this is who I am, if this is what he's saying for Josh, I'm holy, I'm holy, I'm holy, worship me. It's never going to work. It's never actually, it has to be a shape in our heart. Actually, it has to be a dependency in our own heart, a realization who's gone, you know what? God, I'm struggling. God, like, you know, there are things in my world that I actually can't make out. There are things in this world that, you know, it's too big. But, you know, God, I acknowledge you that, you know, you're bigger than that. So please, you know, come into my world. And you know what, God, I give this to you because I've felt emptiness. I've felt what it's like to not know what to do. You know, at the end of Ephesians, it's not actually all doom and gloom. It's talking of wrath. It says, like the rest, we were by nature objects of wrath. But because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace that you have been saved, through faith and not from yourself. It says, goes on to say, for he himself is our peace, who has made us the two one and has destroyed the barrier, the dividing wall of hostility, by abolishing in his flesh the law and the commandments and regulations. I want to say to you tonight, if you're new to change, if you haven't really committed to this community, if you're still sussing out and you don't know what's going on, I want to say to you, we're all about love, we're all about community, but above all things, there is one thing that unites us, and that's just a realization of God. That's a realization that, you know what, we actually can't, cliche, have our best life. We can't actually do what we want to do and actually have an ease of it without God, because we need him. We actually need God. So, community, this is who we are, and if you haven't planted yet, I challenge you to keep coming along and keep finding a home here and get involved in a connect group or get involved with people, because regardless of your own free will and regardless of the way God will not jump in your face, he's always placed people around you, and these people are here, and I see so many people in here who are just in love with people. So thank you, and I hope this encourages you.
Good job. Come on, let's give Byers another hand. Great job, man. So encouraging, challenging, awesome.